What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR 365. Sorry about that. I screwed up. I didn't have my audio set, and I had to back out to get the audio for OBS, and then I accidentally killed the other stream in a panic. So we've got a new live stream. So tell everybody over there in the other live stream, tell them to come back over here. Hopefully they'll get the message. That sucks. What a terrible decision on my part. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead and get this started. And guess who's in the building? Main Fan is in the building. Main Fan, can you say something?
Hey, I was confused by the separate streams too. I just figured it out.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So everybody in chat, one thing we did need to find out is, can you guys hear Main Fan okay? I gotta reposition my camera. So Main Fan.
So
yeah, go ahead.
I'm talking. I see Furious Seas on the screen right now playing. And yeah, that game's pretty cool. I like that game.
Okay, and also do me a favor, guys. Somebody do me a favor and tell the people that are in the other chat that we're all over here.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Major mistake right there.
Root City hears me.
Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Wow. I mean, talk about a shocker of shockers. Yeah, why didn't this just happen? Like, I was doing a show not too long ago. You know, I did a show that started at 2 p.m. It ended a little over 3 p.m. When did this news hit? Main Fan, I'm talking with you live. When did you first find out about the Valve Index?
A couple of hours ago, I think it was.
Okay, bring the music down a touch. Okay, I will bring the music down a little bit. Okay, so a couple hours ago, yeah, see, I saw it, what was it, around like 5-ish or so? Like, well, of course, this is like 3 hours ago, maybe?
Okay, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay. Well, here it is, guys. I mean, this is crazy. Talk about a shocker of shockers. The Valve Index has been announced. It is legit, apparently. Like, that was the other thing, is when we first got this picture, I'm going to go ahead and throw the Valve Index pictures on the screen. Update your experience May 2019. Now, in these pictures here, what I've done is I've actually lightened up the image a little bit. So it's going to show basically kind of the regular image, and then I'm going to have two other images where we lighten it up, and it reveals maybe a little bit more details. Like this image right here, what do we see? We see a button that's underneath there. We also see an IPD slider, and we know exactly what they're doing here. We know what Valve is doing with this picture at this time. It couldn't have worked out more perfect for them. And then this one here, I basically threw even more contrast on this to try to blow it out. And you can see there is a curvature. So the front of this headset, what is going on here? What is the deal with this curved screen? You know what? I better close that door. I had that door open just for the fun of it, but now I'm hearing barking dogs. So 1 second, I'm going to go ahead and close this door. Be right back. Main Fan, go ahead and talk.
And you can clearly see the sensors. Someone else counted it was like 14 sensors. If you get this picture, you know, really bright, you can see 14 individual sensors, and so that pretty much indicates lighthouse tracking. So those front cameras, I don't know if that's to track your hands, or maybe to help track your controller somehow.
Yeah, this is where we get into the whole speculation thing. Now, tracking the controllers, Valve, look, the bottom line is this. Valve is not ready to move off the lighthouses. I don't think that's going to happen. We've seen speculation now on a number of different websites. There's a number of different people that are tweeting various speculation out, and we will be going to the tweet window here in a little bit, and we'll take a look at some of the tweets that are going on out there. But yeah, a lot of people are talking about that this is going to be a mixture, that it's going to support both the lighthouses and also an inside-out tracking solution. I beg to differ. I don't think there's any inside-out tracking going on here. I think those two cameras the way that they're positioned, to me, it looks like Valve is going to be doing some type of pass-through plus type of technology that we've seen with the Rift S, and then also maybe some AR, mixing in some AR, some pass-through, maybe hand tracking like you're talking about there. But don't you think Valve is just so invested in the Lighthouse technology? Lighthouses 2.0 aren't even available individually for regular people. The only way you can get them is with the HTC Vive Pro, right? Do you think they would abandon the Lighthouse so quickly? I mean, we see the sensors right there. We know this works with Lighthouse.
No, I don't think they'd abandon it. And as far as I know, the Knuckles require it. So.
Yeah. The Knuckles require it. And so what are we looking at here, Main Fan? Do you believe... Okay, the first question I have for you right now is May 2019. Will we be able to buy this thing in May 2019? Or is that when we get a major info dump about this headset? Because see, part of me is like, oh my God, May 2019, I'm going to have a brand new incredible Valve headset that is going to change the game. But then another part of me is like, oh my God, are we going to wait for an info dump in May 2019? What do you think?
I say it's going to be for sale in May 2019, because otherwise they're going to have a lot of pissed off people.
Yeah. What about, so we are approaching the month of April, right? We're approaching the month of April. And on April 6th, was it April 5th or April 6th? April 5th or April 6th, back in the year of our Lord 2016, we got the original HTC Vive, okay? And it's kind of like the 3-year anniversary. And I know this isn't HTC, but, Valve, obviously that was their baby. Valve was very, very involved with the original HTC Vive. We're looking at the old school trailer right now. I popped it on the screen. This is the one where you see Chet Falazek during certain parts of it, and they got the green screen room. And this was the very beginning. This was way back in the year 2016. This is like the Steam VR trailer, Valve headquarters, Bellevue, Washington. This is crazy. Can you believe this is happening? I mean, we knew eventually this was going to happen, but damn, did this just come out of nowhere or what?
Definitely came out of nowhere. You're good at remembering anniversaries. Your wife must be happy with you.
Well, I just think of it from a company standpoint because I'm thinking... I kind of have this belief, actually, that maybe we won't get any more information on this headset until April 6th or April 5th. I can't remember which. I can't. It's either April 5th or April 6th. I can go ahead and look at like the release of like some game on Steam that I know is the first day, like Cloudlands Mini Golf. Let me see here. Steam, Cloudlands VR Mini Golf, something that came out on that very first day. I'm trying to remember what the first day is. Cloudlands VR. Okay. Pretty sure Cloudlands was day one here. April 5th. Yeah. Okay, April 5th. Okay, so April 5th. Yeah, this is the second time I've talked about anniversaries. Everybody was going to get the Rift S on the, and you didn't go to Best Buy, Main Fan? You didn't get your Rift S yesterday?
Nah, I'm not interested, so that's why I didn't go to Best Buy. Yeah.
Okay, but on April 5th of this year, it is the 3-year anniversary of the lab and all the Valve stuff that happened on that very first day. Yes, obviously HTC was a big part of that, but it is kind of the 3-year anniversary, and I feel like maybe we'll get a pretty big info dump on that anniversary or somewhere right around there. And then the headset comes out in the month of May. And I think we're probably looking at a combined bundle. Actually, you know what? Why don't we go to the tweet window? Let's go to the tweet window because I have a tweet that is interesting from that standpoint. Okay, so, oops. Okay, wait, I got to grab my image here. Hold on a second, folks. We're going to grab this tweet. Hold on, Main Fan. I gotta add you to. I gotta add your audio over here. Audio output, desktop audio 4. Okay. Main Fan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So Main Fan is in the mix. Okay, so here's a tweet from Tyler McVicker. This is the Valve News Network. And he's saying on the Valve Index page, with the purchase of the headset, a game will be discounted up to 100%. And so you're seeing some of the code of the website here, and it's like game underscore purchase underscore discount dot discount underscore.
I see a 3.
Yeah. You see a 3. I see a couple of 3s. Yeah. But I think we're looking potentially. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to our other scene here. But I think what we're looking at potentially is a bundle that is going to include Lighthouses 2.0. It's going to include the Knuckles controllers, which we've been waiting forever for these damn Knuckles controllers, right? I mean, we really have been waiting forever and a day for Knuckles. And then also the brand new Valve Index. The Valve Index. What do you think Index, like, has anybody figured out what the hell Index? It means something, right? There's something with this index. We don't know what it is yet.
Just reminds me of the stock market. I don't really get the name.
Index. It's got to have something to do with some little key technology thing that they're doing. And we've got, of course, well, actually, hold on a second. Why don't I go ahead? I'm going to change up this trailer here, and I'm going to go back to the mystery Valve HMD montage. This was back when we got those pictures. This was that leak from the factory, which obviously all this shit is real. Like, this is straight up real now. This is the body of the unit. We can see the body of the unit. It says Valve on it. And there is that opening. There's that opening on the front. That's where you put the cartridges in, right? Main fan, we're going to have a Beat Saber cartridge. We're going to have a Rec Room cartridge. You're going to go down to GameStop and you're going to buy your cartridges.
Wasn't your prediction, or maybe it was just what you wanted, that was going to be a screen for your eyes so people could see your eyes?
Exactly, yeah. It's a screen so that people see what Valve is going to do is they're going to shine this special light onto your face, but it's going to be some magical light that doesn't illuminate, but it works for the camera. And then the camera is going to show your face on the outside so everybody can see exactly where your eyeballs are looking and all that sort of stuff, right? I mean, that's what it's going to be, right?
Yeah, and in that image, it looks like almost glassy or shiny plastic, like clear, sort of, on the image we saw today.
Yeah. In fact, why don't we go back to the tweet window, because there's another tweet that kind of relates to that. Okay, so hold on a second here. We're going to go back to our tweet window here. That was the Tyler McVicker tweet where, Portal 3 is included. I'm not going to go down the road of Half-Life 3. I'm just not going to go down that road. But Portal 3, that is a possibility. Okay, so here is a tweet from someone named Justin Spice, and I don't believe this is Main Fan.
That's my spicy name.
I don't know if this is your tweet or not, but somebody named Justin tweeted this out, and it's not ArrowinX either, who actually might join. He might be a guest on our show in the not-too-distant future. I'm looking forward to talking to him. He actually hit me up today out of the blue. Haven't talked to him in the longest time, and I think he saw this Valve Index thing. He was the guy that let me know, oh my God, shit, the whole world has changed. Valve Index is here. We're going to be talking about this. Okay, so anyway, this tweet, he says, so stoked about the new Valve Index. Did some photo enhancing to get more info. 14 IR sensors, 2 massive cameras, and a curved display? I'm most interested in the glass cover. Is it for styling or something deeper? And we see curved display, 14 IR sensors, transparent glass, mixed reality. Oh my God, they're letting the world in. Maybe this is completely AR. Maybe it's not even VR. What do you think is going on here, Mame?
I have no idea what's going on. But glass usually isn't good for Lighthouse. Like you don't want something reflective.
Yeah, we can't really see the front of that. We don't know for sure that it's like everybody is kind of going, everybody's going out on a lark here. We've got some limited pictures to work with. I'm going to go back to the main pictures that we got here. And there is something curved going on. And when you kind of look at everything closer, but it could just be styling. We just don't know about that. What we do know is it is called the Valve Index. What are your thoughts on that name? I mean, we talked about, does it mean something special? Does index, does it signify something to us? Is there going to be eye tracking, foveated rendering?
I think it's a stupid name so far until we know what it really means. But yeah,
Yeah, you know what I will say is it's not the catchiest name in the world. It really
yeah,
isn't. Of course, whenever we hear names of these headsets, the name, we like I remember when we first heard the Oculus Quest, it was like, oh, Oculus Quest. It sounds like a minivan,
yeah.
you hear the different names. You got the Vive Cosmos, you first heard about that, and you might have been a little hesitant on that, like the Acer Oho 500. I'm trying to think of different
That's the
names.
worst one.
Really?
The Oho.
The
That's the worst
Oho.
name.
Yeah, because you don't know, is it Oho? Is it Ojo? What's going
Yeah.
on here? Yeah, Valve Index. Don't know that just rolls off the tip of my tongue there, but we're
Yeah.
looking at most likely, okay, let's go ahead and speculate here. We're looking at, what do you think that bottom button is, by the way? We
Oh,
know
to
the,
slide it out like PSVR. That's what I would say.
so you think there's going to be is it a Halo design? I'm trying to remember. Let me go back to the pictures from that factory.
That lighter picture showed a top strap, it looked like. But you don't have to have a Halo design to do that, I don't think.
To do the inside out, I mean, to do the adjustment where you move it
To do
back and
the
forth.
Well, like the Vive does you can adjust it in and out, and that's not a Halo.
Yeah. Okay. So I have the Valve Mystery. Okay. Yeah. No. It's a strap. It's a strap. It's not a
Yeah,
Halo. It's definitely.
which makes me very happy.
Yeah. So you prefer that? You kind of like the baseball cap
By
style.
by far, yeah.
But one of the interesting things they did though is the foam. It is going with a baseball cap style, but it's got this like back foam layer. Did you see that back foam layer? We'll have to wait for the pictures to cycle through here. But at a certain point, we'll start getting pictures of. Yeah, you can see all the iris. There it is. See, it almost has like the back part of the Halo almost. And then of course we have some Knuckles pictures here where this was
Hmm.
back when we were trying to confirm whether or not this was actually a real thing, and we kind of confirmed it based on that material there being pretty much identical. Okay, so that's the back of the head, and the back of the head does have a really nice foam cushion
Yeah.
situation going on, which is a little bit different than what we get with your standard baseball straps. So it might be almost like a hybrid design, kind of.
Vive Pro has a bunch of foam at the back also.
Yeah, yeah. It does. It does.
Yeah, it does. So does the deluxe audio strap has foam at the back too.
Because it seems like there's kind of like a rigid design in part of this, almost like it goes up, it goes down. It's on these like wheels that can kind of like make it move up and down a little bit, but then
Hmm.
it has the strap going over your top. We do see the Fresnel lenses are still there. The concentric circles are still there. Of course, this is a while back, so there may have been some change. It almost looks like there's speakers right on the front, but that
Yeah.
was probably just like, I can't even remember back to when we did all of this and we thought about all the different possibilities. And it goes back to the cartridge in the front again. We still don't know. Maybe that has something to do with index. Could it be possible, main fan, that there could be different attachments that snap into that front section and offer
Yeah.
unique possibilities? I don't know what the hell it could possibly do.
When I first saw that photo, way back when that came out, the first thing I thought was Leap Motion would snap into there. I don't know what else could though.
Yeah, leap motion is a possibility. The only thing I would say though to the leap motion possibility is you've already
The
got
cameras.
you got
Yeah.
the cameras built in there. And
Yeah.
the way the cameras are spaced out, it really does look like it's going to offer some kind of pass-through plus type thing. And knowing Valve the way they are about that, you would think that they would also, similar to Oculus, work on a method of giving you true stereo when it is using the pass-through, so it looks really good. Because that's the one thing I saw when I was doing Rift S and I was doing the Oculus Quest. The pass-through, it is a game changer because it's in stereo. That's the game changer. Now, the pass-through with Rift S and Oculus Quest is black and white. It'll be interesting to see if this could possibly one-up that. Okay, so let's talk for a minute here about the spoiler situation that Valve has done to the launch of the Rift S. Does this change the game, main fan? Because we know, first of all, we know that there is this core group of hardcore Oculus fanboys, and they are Oculus through and through. But what if another product like this Valve Index, it comes along, and what if almost everything about this is superior to the Rift S? Will these hardcore Oculus fanboys just turn a blind eye to the Valve Index and they'll stick with their Rift S?
They'll still get the Rift S because of the exclusives, and the fact that the reason I got a Rift is that it works better with exclusives than Revive does. So I think they'll still do that.
Okay, but what if they already own a Rift?
They'll probably still upgrade if they're a hardcore fanboy. Probably.
So they're gonna buy two headsets.
I mean, it depends how hardcore of a fanboy they are. Some of them might be pissed about the 80 hertz and lack of headphones and all that. So I mean, I don't know. It depends on the guy. It depends on the type of person.
But it's just people get into name brands, man. They really do. And they get into these camps and they're just so locked in. So I can tell you myself personally, I am absolutely in the market for a brand new headset. And I was excited about the Rift S. Now I'm in a bit of a different kind of category here because of my IPD situation. It's a real thing. We did find out actually today, everybody that was at PAX East, I believe it's 58 millimeters to 72 millimeters is the software IPD adjustment range that is available for Rift S. We found out about that today. That is good news in certain ways. The problem is, though, a software IPD adjustment only fixes like 1 out of 4 problems that you encounter when you don't have the proper IPD. It only solves 1 of the 4. And so you still got those other 3 problems. So for me, this headset right here, this is a dream come true because I want proper stereo, you know what I mean? I want the proper thing. And my IPD is on the big side. I'm like up there at 70, 71, 69, kind of in that range. And I'm looking at that little IPD slot right there, and I'm thinking, thank goodness, thank you so much. I'm going to be cranking it. I don't know which direction, to the right or to the left, but I'm going to be cranking it one of those directions, and it's going to adjust for me. And I can say I own an Oculus Rift, and I'm going to hold on to my Oculus Rift. My Oculus Rift isn't going anywhere. You know who kind of got boned? But, I mean, he won't say this, though. Well, actually, no, I can't reveal it. Somebody I know sold their Rift already. They abandoned their Rift already in preparation for the Rift S. And then now we have this. Because for me, I'll tell you what my strategy is. I'm going to hold on to my Rift so I can play Asgard's Wrath. I can play Stormland. I got my touch controllers. It's all good, right? But now I get Knuckles. Now I get Lighthouse 2.0. Now I get Portal VR. Portal VR. Can you imagine that, main fan? What if in less than 60 days, or in about 60 days, we could be playing the first Valve VR game that could be a complete and utter game changer?
That would be amazing. I really like that Portal game that came out early in like 2016. What was it called? There was a little Portal experience.
Yeah, Portal Stories VR.
There you go. Yeah,
Portal Stories VR. So oh God, people are talking in chat. So it's crazy because so for me, I hold on to my Rift, and then that way I can still play my Rift exclusives. And then I go ahead and grab this, and then that way I get Knuckles. Now, there's going to be some good things and some bad things about this. The bad thing is I'm going to have to actually install lighthouses. I'm going to have to drill holes in my wall. This is the thing that we talked about with friction. And I do believe on a subconscious, unconscious level, when people hear about, oh, yeah, you got to install something into your wall, you got to drill something with screws. And I know you don't have to, but people hear about that. And I think a part of them inside is like, oh, man, I don't want to mess with that. And the Rift S is really good for those people. But for people like you and me, MAME fan, we want the top of the line Rhine, and so we're willing to go ahead and do it. Now you don't have base stations 2.0 because you never got a Vive Pro, right? So you're going to have to switch your lighthouses out.
I sent you a photo to Discord. I don't know if you can even get to that photo.
I could.
I have a Vive Pro and a Pimax sitting right here, and I sent the photo to you.
Oh snap! How did you get a Vive Pro, or when did you get a Vive Pro?
The Vive Pro came today, so I got that to do a comparison with the Pimax, and I have my verdict, but that's not the news today.
Yeah, you might as well save it. Just save all of that. Save all of that. Yeah, I was going to be talking to you about Pimax and all of that, but this is not the time right now. We could just go ahead and save it. We'll have time for that. But what was I talking about before you talked about your Vive Pro? Oh, the lighthouses. So, well, let me just ask you this. Did you already set up Lighthouses 2.0?
Oh, no, I only got the headset. So I just have 1.0 here.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So the headset's backwards compatible.
Yeah.
I wonder
if this one will be backwards compatible.
It's very possible that it will be backwards compatible because, actually, that's a good question. Do you believe Valve... Well, actually, there's a number of questions we can ask you. Okay, first of all, on the day that this becomes available, do you believe that it will be in a package with two Lighthouses 2.0, two Knuckles, a pair of Knuckles, and then possibly like a code to this Valve VR game? Do you think it's going to be a combined bundle like that, or do you think it could be the Valve Index a la carte? And it's backwards and forwards compatible. And so if you've got a Vive, you could just straight up order the Valve Index, and maybe we've got to wait for a bundle. Or option number 3 is both of them are available on the first day, a la carte or in a bundle.
I think the headset alone will be available, then the headset with base stations. I'm not so confident that Knuckles will be available. That might be a future thing.
I think, but go ahead.
If Knuckles isn't available, though, you'd have to get Vive controllers. So I guess that screws that up.
But don't you think, here's what I think. I think Knuckles was waiting for this. This is what Knuckles was waiting for. Because, people have had Knuckles for so long. MRTV got Knuckles. Cass and Cherry got Knuckles. Everybody got Knuckles. I don't have them, but they're all over the damn place. Knuckles have been around, and there's been a number of iterations of Knuckles. I think we're finally going down the road here, right?
Yeah, I guess they're going to have to be ready by then because they're not going to give them HTC Vive controllers. So, yeah, they'd have to be.
So, yeah, and I think, so here's my feelings on in terms of like what's going to be available. I think they are going to have a bundle. I think they're going to have a bundle with the two Knuckles controllers. I think they're going to have a bundle with the headset, the Lighthouses 2.0, and I think there will be one free game that is included with this. And it's like this is the next wave of VR. This is a major step forward. Okay, we got to go back to the tweet window because I got another tweet that we can talk about. Okay, hold on here. Let me go ahead and grab another tweet. Now, this is Steve Bowler. He is one of the developers that worked on Island 359. Is it Cloudhead Games or Cloudhead Studio or Cloudgate? I get Cloudgate and Cloudhead. It's the developers of like the Gallery and Island 359. I always get them confused. I'm going to have to look it up real quick. But I know Steve Bowler works for, I think it's Cloudgate Studios. Let's see, Cloudgate Studios, Island 359. Is that what it is? Or is it Cloudhead Studios? Cloudgate. Yeah, Cloudgate Studio. Okay. Cloudgate Studio is the developer of Island 359, And this is Steve Bowler. He tweeted this out recently, and he says, I feel like there's a hint in the Valve Index announcement that just went live. They're trying to show us, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Okay. Upgrade. So he has the word upgrade underlined, and then you see this like wide angle thing. So are we talking about, is he trying to say, hey,
Field of
there's
view.
field of view? Is he trying to say, but like when he says I can't quite put my finger on it, is he just talking about the IPD adjustment? Like this actually has one? Is he kind of like throwing some shade at Oculus Rift S? Or you think he's talking about the wider field of view?
He has to be. But the headset doesn't look like a wide field of view headset, so I don't. I mean, it can't be that much wider.
Yeah, upgrade your experience, and he's got this wide thing like that. Yeah, so one of the rumors, we'll go back to our standard scene here. One of the rumors that we've heard bandied about is 135 degrees. Have you heard this? 135 degrees?
I've seen mostly 140.
140. Okay. Well, 140 was with the Half Dome. That was the Oculus Half Dome. But in relationship to this Valve, I've heard a number of rumors about 135 degrees. Also, remember the that one YouTuber that had that video? He was at GDC, said that they tried the Valve headset. They uploaded a video.
Yeah.
They pulled it real quick. We thought it was all phony and it was all fake, but maybe none of it was fake. Maybe they accidentally freaking let the cat out of the bag. And what were some of the rumors that were in that rumor? Do we remember?
It involved Voodoo DE. I think he was the one that uploaded it, and
Yeah.
yeah, they said there was like finger tracking, and then it could even like track their legs, like all sorts of stuff. I didn't see the video. I just heard about it from someone else.
Yeah, I did hear something about a camera, that there's some kind of camera that is like looking at your legs.
Yeah.
But in this picture, we don't see a camera that's like aimed downward that could possibly do that. So I don't know where that comes from. But if that was true, that would be super interesting just from the standpoint of why would they want to have a camera on your legs? But then one of the things I thought about is inverse kinematics. Like maybe they would have some type of skeletal tracking system where they're trying to look at your legs and then they combine it with what they've got on your hands and what they've got on your head. And it's basically for trying to kind of like do full body tracking without having to have all kinds of trackers and everything. But I don't see a camera under there. But that was one of the rumors. And I think 135-degree field of view, I think that was one of the other rumors as well.
Well, here's I'm looking at my Discord. The person I was talking to, they said it was somebody named Reality Check VR who was at GDC. He posted a video where he and two other YouTubers, Voodoo and one other person, were talking about the new Valve headset, and they tried that has 140 field of view and hand tracking. And the person deleted it, and they signed an NDA. According to this person.
Okay.
And they said it had a camera that was even tracking their legs.
A camera that was tracked where? Where is the camera tracking their legs? I don't see it.
Yeah, we're looking at the underside. I don't know if those two cameras could somehow do that. I don't know.
Doesn't appear to be like they would. Well, anyway, that's interesting. Yeah. And so the possibility, what some people actually, why don't we can take a look at what some of the people are saying in chat. XLXX 1999 says, is it a bendable display? What about the possibility, main fan, of a curved screen? Could there possibly be a curved screen in there?
Yeah, that curve of the headset hopefully implies that. So yeah, I mean, we have all these phones coming out that are bending and curving and shit, so why not?
But where are they going to get a manufacturer? Like who has the
Samsung.
Samsung, but do you think Samsung hopped in bed with, wouldn't Samsung want to just hold that for themselves for like the next Odyssey?
Samsung sells shit to everyone, so they would sell it.
All right. So let's see here. So ultimately, what do you think is going to be the fallout? Okay, when do you think we're going to get some more information on this? And it is Valve, so god damn, we could be waiting a while here.
Uh, Sometime in April.
Yeah,
I have no idea when.
April is coming up.
I don't think it will be that anniversary.
Okay, the April 5th anniversary.
I don't think
Um,
that matters to them.
yeah, well, Valve did put out the lab on that day.
Okay.
And they had to start up Steam, like they got Steam VR up and running that day, so it's still kind of a 3-year deal for them, even though it's kind of under the Vive. But yeah, so a curved screen is a possibility. Man, what kind of price could we possibly be looking at here? That this is actually a major factor. Like, as much as I'm interested in this, I need a new headset very badly. But what kind of price could we be looking at? Because apparently Valve is actually going to manufacture this thing. I would have never, honestly, in a million years, I would have never thought that I might actually get a headset shipped to my house in a box that is being shipped from Valve. And like, I open the box and it's like a Valve box. Like, I could have never imagined that. I would have thought that, you turn this thing and then there's the LG logo on the side, or there's a Sharp logo, or Toshiba, or who the hell knows, somebody. Is it possible, Main Fan, that we could still have a silent partner that's manufacturing these things? Or is Valve prepared to go the distance and actually deliver this product from their own warehouses?
I think they probably have a partner that's helping them with some of it. I would think so. Because what they've only done with the Steam controller and then the Steam Link. I don't know if there's been other stuff. But somebody commented something interesting, that they're like, maybe that person's thumbs are hiding the cameras that are tracking the legs.
Ah, that is very good. That's very perceptive. That
Yeah.
is very perceptive, actually, because going back to Steve Bowler's tweet, let's go back to that tweet window here. He says, oh shit, I feel like there's a hint in that Valve Index announcement that just went live. They're trying to show us, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Oh my God. Is that the answer? There's 2 cameras under. Maybe there is inside out tracking. Hold up. Wait a minute. Because I don't think Valve would do inside out tracking with just 2 cameras on the front like that and nothing else, because that's kind of an inferior, it's not that good, Could Valve possibly be doing a 2-in-1 deal here but why would they? It seems kind of weird, though, to have 2 cameras, or even 1 camera that would be facing downward like that. It would help. It would help with the inside out tracking, but you would think there would also be, well, we're not seeing the top of the headset, so I guess we don't know, right?
It would be tracking your whole body, I guess.
Wow, this is crazy. There are so many unanswered questions, and this is speculation central, and everybody is going to be speculating on this for like the next 10 days. It's almost going to be too much. I'm glad I'm doing this right now.
Someone did say Onikaze,
Onikaze.
The thumbs are on the rubber foam facial interface. OMG. So
Yeah.
I mean, I did think that maybe that's not a good place for him.
It's unlikely. Yeah, it seems unlikely. That is a good point. That is a very good point. See, we've got some great people in chat that are figuring some stuff out for us. Although, again, what we did with this, we bumped up the contrast dramatically, and it seems like that is the rubber face thing, but we don't know with absolute 100% certainty. But that could still be a rigid part of it, and we just don't know it. But yeah, that's a pretty good point. That is a pretty good point. Maybe we just got boned there. But I mean, the Steve Bowler tweet, I just can't put my thumb on it or whatever, I mean, it could be that they're actually hiding it right there. I mean, that could be kind of crazy. Well, you see where the nose and everything goes. You see that part. And then you see that other part there. I mean, do you think that whole section is rubber? I don't think that whole section's rubber.
No, I think it's plastic.
Yeah.
And then further down is where you get to the facial interface, I think.
Yeah, so there still could be cameras that are hidden right there.
Yeah.
I believe so. There could be cameras that are hidden right there. Okay, so let's talk pricing. Okay, main fan, I'm going to just tell you right now. You're going to get a box. You're going to get a box from Valve, and it's going to have the headset. It's going to have knuckles. It's going to have 2 base stations. It's going to have some little extra things, little minor things in the box as well. What are we looking at here? What is this price going to be? This is Valve internally. What are they going to do here?
Depends on the resolution and the field of view. Shit, probably close to $1,000. Maybe 800, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
I kind of feel like if it's priced more than $799, $800. Well, that was the Vive. Was the Vive, or was it $699 or was it $799?
Vive was 800,
Okay.
and the Rift when it first came out was 600, but it was just the headset. Then when they added touch, it was 800.
All praise Gaben. All praise Gaben. Gaben hath spoken and Gaben hath delivered. All praise Gaben. But yeah, pricing, man. I think if it's $799.99 or below, it's within range. It's within range of people. I think if it goes over that amount, I think a lot of people just write it off. Now, having said that, if it was at $799 and it did have 135-degree FOV and it did have some kind of game-changing stuff that's included with it, some AR capabilities, great pass-through capabilities, but it's double the price of the Rift S. Like, is that a problem, or is Valve going to do their own thing?
It's not a problem for me. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it depends what their goal is. If they want to, mass market, that's a problem for sure. Yeah. I don't know what they're trying to do.
But one of the things we need to consider here is Valve, like when they release this product, it's very similar to when Oculus first dropped the Oculus Rift, from this standpoint, that when you release that first product, when you let that thing out into the wild, every decision that they made, every trade-off that they decided on, everything that got, on the cutting room floor, things got discarded. There were things they wanted to do with this that they couldn't do with this. There's things that they were able to do with it. But all of those decisions, what happens is once this thing is manufactured and it starts going out to everybody, it's locked in stone. And we're probably going to be stuck with it for about 3 years before there's something else. And so it's mission critical. When they're designing this thing, the decisions they make, it's going to have ramifications that are going to last for a while. So they don't want to necessarily make this a bare bones, dirt cheap kind of thing, because they can't squeeze all the stuff in there that they need to squeeze in there so that it's relevant for the next 3 years. The problem is, though, like speaking of like eye tracking and things that could possibly be added to this, if we go back, I'm going to go back to the mystery HMD pics where, it's from the factory floor. Doesn't look like when we look at the inside of this, and there it is right there, there could possibly be a camera in that one little spot right there, but we don't know for sure. This could be before an eye tracking module is added to it. So maybe there could be eye tracking. Maybe there could be foveated rendering. What about this, main fan? What's your prediction when it comes to resolution? Do you think they're going to go like HTC Vive Pro, Samsung Odyssey? Is it 1440 by 1600? Do you think they're going to go to that level with their resolution? Or do you think it's going to be some customized resolution because this 135-degree FOV, it's going to be a custom resolution?
Yeah, the other question is LCD versus OLED. So like I have a Pimax and a Vive Pro right here, and the Pimax has a lower vertical resolution, but it actually looks better because it's RGB stripe. So maybe they'll go with that. Yeah, it'll probably be some sort of custom resolution, if the field of view is what they say, the rumors say.
Stephen Jeffrey in chat says, this news is incredible. totally throws my well-built plans into disarray. This throws everybody's plans into disarray. You know how many people were so trigger happy to want to buy a Rift S? Oculus blew it, man. If they did release it yesterday, there would have been a lot of credit cards that would have got charged. A lot of credit cards would have got charged yesterday, and then this would have hit, and they would have been like, oh, shit, what did I do? And we have that opening on the front. And I still think that that opening on the front could be the game changer. Maybe it has something to do with that name Index. I don't know what it could be, but I'm starting to believe, Main Fan, you know what I'm starting to believe about that slot in the front? I kind of believe that it is going to be like a multi-purpose accessory slot of some kind. But I don't know what they would. Of course, Leap Motion would be an obvious, or maybe even their own version of like a Leap Motion imitator. Could be a cartridge. But what else could they do? What other weird things could they possibly do?
Your eye thing is the only other thing I thought of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or what about the screen, though? Remember, I said, like, way back when we were speculating on it, like the first time we speculated on this, I was like, oh, it's a screen so everybody can see what you're playing. Like, it basically shows what you're playing. That's the other option.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, or it's a little aquarium and there will be a little fish swimming around inside it. How about that one?
Yeah, that's probably likely.
Yeah. But man, this is just crazy news. Okay, so in terms of the resolution, like to get serious here and think about this for a minute. Yeah, you're talking RGB stripe, you're talking OLED. Those are questions to think about. And you could have RGB stripe on OLED. Like there's no rule,
Like PSVR.
Exactly. But the resolution is a factor from the standpoint that just recently, in regards to Oculus, they were very cognizant of not wanting to change their min and rec specs. The minimum specifications, the required specifications, they didn't want to change them. And that's why they dropped it to 80 hertz. That's why they went with relatively lower resolution bump with that Oculus Go screen. It was very, very important to them. Do you think Valve has the same kind of considerations? Like Valve could have the potential, they could go with like, let's just pretend it had a normal FOV, like very similar to HP Reverb, like 114 degrees. Valve could go with 2160 by 2160 per eye. It seems to be kind of a standard, really high resolution that some of these other headsets seem to be moving towards. But if they did that, then everybody's computers cry out and they scream. It's like 1,000 voices just got silenced or whatever, when that freaking planet got destroyed in Star Wars, right? What is the quote? The Obi-Wan quote?
Yeah, I can't remember that.
He's
sure
like,
someone in chat knows.
He's like, I feel like 1,000,000 voices were just all of a sudden silenced or something. You know, but basically, I mean, the computers, like, think about it. The 2080 Ti's that we're going to need if they did go to 2160 by 2160. So I kind of...
You can always undersample.
True. You can always undersample. Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting decision that they're going to have to make as far as that. What about the speaker system on the front? You got a speaker system and you got a screen. So you got a straight up home theater on the front of that headset right there.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell's going on with that.
Yeah.
So maybe it is a screen for people to watch. I don't know.
That would be kind of bonkers, right?
Yeah.
So what about wireless capability? Could that be...
That's important to me.
Or
That's very important to me.
5G modem. 5G, baby.
Yeah, and blockchain.
Blockchain. But the 5G modem... The 5G modem actually is a real... See, that's why I think this multi-purpose adapter that you could pop different things into. You could pop a 5G modem into there. You can pop an LCD screen in there. You can pop the aquarium in there. There's a lot of options. But seriously, I think 5G modem and I think leap motion hand tracking, maybe smell-o-vision.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I mean, that really could be some sort of scent module thing. Like Pimax, I think, weren't they saying they're doing something with that? Um, yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, there was that other company where they had basically
Yeah.
like that freaking Sith Lord mask thing attachment that
Yeah.
attached on there that looked really cool. But so yeah, so we're kind of speculating here about everything. We're speculating about everything. We don't have answers. The answers that we do have is it definitely features lighthouse tracking. That's a given, okay? So
Hmm.
Lighthouse is 2.0. I mean, see, the thing is, Valve, like, those aren't even out there. Like, you can't buy Lighthouse 2.0s individually. Or can you? Wait, can
But
you on the Vive website?
I don't I don't think so. And Pimax, the company, that they've been having trouble getting them to sell themselves, but I think they're going to start to do that soon. But like I said, it might not have to be 2.0. It could be 1.0.
Yeah, okay, so going back
Yeah.
to chat here, we got Dax Flow Life says, also, it has headphones. Thank God. I wouldn't
Hmm.
want to be a company that releases a headset without headphones. That would be almost as dumb as a single LCD screen without IPD. Nobody's that dumb. Okay, we get you there, bro. But actually, you know what? One thing about these headphones, one of the rumors that we heard about the headphones is that they were going to have. Did you hear this rumor that these headphones had some kind of technology in them that is anti nausea? It's,
Oh yeah, the vibration, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Stuart,
Interesting.
Stuart Gregerson says Oculus on suicide watch confirmed. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Um, yeah, this is just a crazy day. It's a
But
crazy night. It's a crazy day.
if it's high priced, they don't have to worry. Oculus.
Yeah, they'll dodge a major bullet. If it's 700, like if this is higher than 599, I think if this were 599, let's say this is 600, Oculus is screwed. Oculus
Hmm.
is absolutely screwed. At least, well, we're talking about the hardcore set. You know, we're talking about hardcore PC VR gamers. But dude, this is Valve. Think about how they're going to market this. This is Valve, bro. They're going to have it all over Steam. Like
Yeah.
whenever you're buying games and stuff, they can advertise this endlessly. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
when Vive first came out, it was all over Steam.
Wow. This is going to be crazy. This is really, God, I feel, honestly, there's a part of me that legitimately feels bad for Oculus. I legitimately feel bad for Oculus right now. But maybe,
They'll
go ahead.
they'll sell plenty of quests. Don't feel bad for them.
Yeah, yeah. And think about spring of this year. God damn, is this the most expensive spring we're going to see in quite some time? Because I'm buying a Quest. Like, I
Hmm.
absolutely want to have a Quest, but then this looks like my PC headset going forward in all likelihood. I mean, unless there's some weird shoe that would like what could you possibly find out about this headset where it would turn you off of it?
It could have a small sweet spot. I've tried headsets where that killed it for me. Something like it could be something as simple as that.
Yeah. But you would think Valve, man. See, the one thing about Valve, I know a lot of their best engineers got plucked. You know, Michael Abrash, obviously, he got plucked. And one of the things we can think about as well is if we go back in history to when Oculus was working, like before Facebook came along, Oculus and Valve were like pretty tight for a while there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And they were working together and they were collaborating together. And Valve was very willing to collaborate with Oculus because they were this scrappy little upstart. They weren't a behemoth, you know? And so they were willing to work with them and they shared a ton of information back and forth. And then Facebook comes along and scoops up Oculus and but to add injury to insult, Facebook comes along and grabs some of their best people, you know, Michael Abrash and some others, right? And
Hmm.
so you got to imagine Gaben deep down inside probably felt kind of hurt by that whole thing and just the entire situation. But when that situation dissipated, it seems like Valve said, F this. And those are those headphones. Those are those weird-ass looking headphones that are on the screen right now. Very weird-looking headphones, which may have some kind of anti-nausea technology. How crazy is that? Like, we don't know what the hell Valve is going to do. You know what? Maybe that little module there in the front, one of the things that we've been hearing about Valve recently, main fan, the brain control, brain control. No, seriously,
You're right.
you plug that module in, and then there's something else that goes all around the top of your head that you have to attach to, and it's the freaking brain control comes in.
Well, I don't buy any of that, not for a long time.
Yeah. But what do you think about like do you think Valve, like when that whole thing went down, did Valve like walk away and say, okay, fuck you then. We're gonna go into our little laboratories here and we're gonna start banging away. And then 3 years later, this is what we got. Or 4 or 5 years later, this is what we got.
Yeah, I wonder how long they've been working on this. Like if they were working on this while HTC was talking to them about the Vive and everything. I don't know.
Wow, this is such a disruptor. Dude, think about think of HP Reverb. Think of all the companies that just got boned. Think of Vive. Think of the Vive subreddit. Is the Vive subreddit now officially dead? Like where
Vive subreddit, that's always been lots of headsets on there. It's not just Vive.
I know, but the thing is, after a while, people are going to wonder, why are you going to the Vive subreddit?
Go to Index, our Index.
Oh shit! Is there one already there?
No, I don't know.
It should probably be our Valve Index.
Yeah, it would have to be Valve Index. Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to be one instantly, and it's going to have like 5,000 subs, hella fast. God, this is some crazy shit.
I'm gonna check for it right now.
Index is PC Master Race. Oculus is casual. Okay, I'm gonna check some of the stuff in chat. I haven't been looking at chat very much. My apologies here. Okay, Onakazi says they were fine with Oculus when they thought Steam would be, if not the default store, at least the big dog. When Facebook stepped in, they started to move. Oh, okay, yeah. He's talking about Valve. Valve was fine with Oculus when they thought that Steam was going to be the default store, at least the big dog. And then when Facebook gobbled up Oculus, Valve was like, oh shit, here we go. It's about to get real. It's about to get real. The Nexus... go ahead.
There's a Valve Index subreddit with a bunch of shit on it already.
How funny. How funny. Classic. The Nexus Lord says, PC gaming and PC VR by extension is not mainstream gaming and never will be. That's why Oculus is following Sony's lead and going full on with VR consoles. Yeah, one way we can spin this, main fan, is that Oculus and Valve aren't really going to be competing because Oculus's real eyes are on the console prize. And the Rift S is just kind of something they scrapped together with Lenovo. They had a couple spare parts in the back. They got some old Oculus Go screens stacked up. They called up Lenovo and said, hey, would you guys like to throw a quick headset together with these Oculus Go screens? And they scrapped that together, but it's all about the Quest for them. And then so Valve can dominate PC VR. But goddamn, what do you think is happening to the stock price of HTC in overnight hours? The stock price is crumbling, I would have to imagine.
Well, I don't know how much VR affects their stock. I'm not sure.
But the only future HTC had was in VR. And now Valve obviously, this is a sign right here. When I'm going to go back to the other picture where we have the Valve Index actual logo. So let's switch back over there. But the fact that it says Valve Index, HTC is gone. If there is a silent partner, it's not HTC. Can we at least agree on that? Or do you think there's still a chance?
I don't think HTC's involved at all, no.
Yeah, I kind of have the feeling, and I think part of the reason for that is Valve's not blind. They've seen the horror stories on the subreddit about the service. And see, now speaking of service, okay, so Main Fan, I'm not sure if you saw my episode earlier today where I had a number of clips from Jason Rubin, okay? And one of
Yeah.
okay, you
Yeah, I
saw
watched
that?
that.
And one of the questions that Ben Lang was asking Jason Rubin, he was saying, hey, so you got the Rift S, why not make a Rift Pro? And Jason Rubin, when he answered him, he said, well, here's the thing about that. If we were to make a Rift Pro, you got to have all these engineers, you got to have all this support staff, you got to have this team, you got to have that team. And let's talk about Valve for a second here. Let's talk about the Valve Index. What about Valve, man? Are they prepared to like deal with the support? Like, see, if they sell this product themselves, if they ship it in a box and they send it to your house, what about like support and all of that? Because I don't think Valve, unless Valve hires an outside company that is just specifically hired to provide support for Valve Index, I don't think that Valve is prepared for that, man.
Yeah, they're gonna have to hire somebody. I told a friend of mine who's a flat gamer who's very skeptical about VR. I told him about this, and he has a Steam controller that he's always had problems with. His response was, Valve's hardware is garbage, as is Valve. So that's a flat gamer opinion. And I think he didn't get good support with his Steam controller.
Oh, trip on this. Trip on this. Okay, Envy 1790 says, it's Friday night, dude. Stocks do not trade on Friday night. And what I was going to say to that is, yeah, but there's after hours trading. Also, the Vives HTC is not on like New York Stock Exchange. It's not on NASDAQ. It's on an Asian stock exchange, right? It's like on the Taiwanese whatever stock exchange thing. And there is after hours trading. But the one thing I will say about it being Friday night, this is weird timing. Like, why would you come out with this announcement on a Friday night after markets have closed? Was that part of it? I don't know. It's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, I have no idea about the timing. That's weird. Someone said, about those dots that we thought were lighthouse sensors.
Yeah.
That maybe those are somehow doing the body leg tracking. That's possible.
That's a reach. I'll say that's a reach. But no, it's possible. Yeah. Like everything is possible.
Like the fact that they're on the underside like that, is kind of weird as far as lighthouse tracking.
That is kind of weird. That is kind of weird. That actually, God, this is just getting more and more mysterious, isn't it? It's like it's like we're not even answering questions. We're just creating new ones. So yeah, this is freaking bonkers. Okay, what does this do? Like the crazy thing about this is I think sales of all VR headsets are kind of like, whoa. Like, unless you're buying like a PlayStation VR. And then also, this does hurt. You know who this hurts, though? It does hurt Oculus from this standpoint. There could have been some people that may have been very, very tempted to grab an Oculus Quest, but they're not because their money's gone. Like, I mean, Oculus Quest is probably going to come out before this does, but if you're earmarking $800 for this, maybe you don't buy that Oculus Quest. I can tell you that Gary Reckoner VR, Gary from VR Roundtable, last time I talked to him about this, he said that he was planning on buying both a Rift S and an Oculus Quest. And now, but that was before this. And I got to imagine he's absolutely going to be rethinking the Rift S part of the equation. I think he still wants an Oculus Quest. I'm sure he does. But damn, if you pay $800 for this, do you think sales of the Quest are going to suffer a little bit?
Definitely. And I saw Gary and Sebastian's, live video that he did a little earlier today, right as the news broke. So he's interested.
Oh, everyone's interested. You would be out of your mind. I think even the hardest of the hardcore Rift fanboys are still interested in this. I think they're kind of are kind of like don't know what to think about this, because there are, it's just like there's people that are in the Xbox camp and there's people that are in the PlayStation camp. I'm sure you know a few MAME fan, right? You know a few
Hmm.
MAME fan, like I know some people that are Xbox fans that Microsoft could literally put a turd in a box and
Yeah.
put the Xbox logo on it, and they will defend that shit. There's people like that with Nintendo. There's people like that with basically all of these companies, and there's even people like that with the Vive, even as bad as like with HTC and Vive, even as bad as their like customer support has been. People
Hmm.
rally behind these names, and I guarantee you, dude, there's some Oculus fanboys that are out there right now that are like, really, goddamn, why did this have to happen? How am I gonna spin this? They're already trying to figure out how they're gonna spin it, and they're probably praying for like a $900 price tag so they can just write it off as just ridiculously expensive and a non-comparison, because this creates a lot of problems for a lot of people. This is going
If
to
this
be,
comes with two base stations and two knuckles, there's no way it's going to be cheap. It's just not possible.
yeah, I think the absolute lowest you could ever possibly imagine would be $599.99, $600, and that would be the lowest, and I'm not expecting that.
That would shock me.
Yeah. But Valve, the one thing we can remember about Valve's got a lot of money, bro. They're sitting on a lot of cash.
Hmm.
They've got a lot of cash. And if they wanted to, they could pretty much put this thing out at cost. But I don't know what their cost would be, for them to
Yeah.
like they could put this out and be like, okay, we're not going to make a profit on this. In fact, we're going to lose like $50 off every one of these that they sell, because
Hmm.
how many of these would they even sell in the month of, like, say, May and June? Like the first 60 days of availability, do you think they could move like 20,000 of these, 40,000 of these? I mean, how much pent up demand? 100,000 of these in just a month? I mean, what about that? Can Valve manufacture these things fast enough? One of the things we could be looking at is freaking shortages and like eBay scalping and all kinds of shit. Get your pre orders now, y'all. What about that part of it?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know anything about how well they can manufacture or anything like that. But I think, yeah, I mean, all the enthusiasts would buy them for sure. Definitely.
I wonder how
Um,
many I wonder how many of the really hardcore enthusiasts we do have out there, though, that would
yeah,
snap this up immediately. Probably maybe 20,000, I think,
yeah.
within the first 60 days. I could see them selling 20, maybe 40,000 if they can manufacture enough of these. But like, you think about the different factories when they start ramping up production, usually it's like about 10,000 of these things a month. So how many months has this thing already been, how long have the factories been churning? You get into all of those questions. Do you think there's going to be a pre-order period for this, or do you think, bam, it's just out and deal with it?
I have no idea. I don't know if they do pre-orders with their stuff usually. One thing I'm wondering, like, what's their motivation here? They already sell so many fucking games on Steam. How is this gonna help them sell more? You know, like, what does this do for Valve?
I honestly feel that Gabe Newell, now he would not tell you this, but I
Hmm.
feel there's some part of Gabe Newell is rooting for VR in some kind of way. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but and maybe it's kind of, he's an older guy, right?
Hmm.
And some of us, I think VR is appealing to kind of an older set of people, an
Hmm.
older set of gamers, because you know what, we've been around since the Atari days, and we've seen a lot of incredible stuff over the years. And this was like a science fiction kind of a thing for a lot of us. Like a lot of us maybe never even thought that this would ever really happen in our lifetimes. And here we are. VR is a real thing. It's really happening, and it's improving on a regular basis. And it's very possible that Gabe has tried VR a lot, and he's fallen in love with it. Now, I think if you interview him, I think he would deny that. And he would just say, it's something we're looking at. And, if it's a failure, it's a failure. I don't really care at all. But I think deep down inside, I think he's freaking fallen in love with VR. Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how much of a gamer he is, or I don't know a lot about him, other than he's a man of few words.
Well, they did. I mean, they started off as programmers. They started off,
Okay.
making Half-Life. I mean, he was an on the
He was
very.
a Half-Life programmer. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think he's like a hardcore gamer, like playing games all day long and stuff, but I think he puts a VR headset on, and I think maybe he got jazzed by this whole VR thing. Yeah, I mean, it is a good question, though. What is the motivation? Maybe they felt like, well, maybe part of their motivation is they want to create a new set of VR gaming, the games. Like they want to create a new set of games, and they want to create the kind of controllers that can make VR work better. Maybe it's a defensive play as well. I mean, maybe they're worried about Oculus, they're worried about Microsoft, they're worried about Google, they're worried about all these other companies, and they're trying to preserve, like, if VR were to take over, maybe they feel like if they have a high-end headset, they can kind of like get people locked into their system, and people are buying VR games in Steam. And like one of the plays they have is the same play that everybody else has, is that subconscious, unconscious thing that we get when we start buying a lot of games into a particular library. We become invested. We're pot committed. We have all these different Steam games. Main fan, how many Steam games do you have? Like 800 or something, right?
I think 700 something now.
Pretty close to 800. And you have this, like, having such a huge library, you've got a motivation to like kind of stay with Steam. You've got so much invested in it, and maybe they want to try to do this for VR, and by coming out with a headset that is capable of certain things that nothing else is, and it lets them make the game that they want to make. God, that's the other incredible thing about this. An incredible Valve game, the best VR game we've ever seen, a possible killer app, a game changer, could be less than 60 days away. How freaking incredible is that?
That's amazing. I'll still be surprised if it is.
I
just
will too.
don't
I will
trust
too.
them.
Yeah, well, see, already, I can tell you right now, like May 2019, upgrade your experience. Like, I'm already thinking that is when we're going to get an info dump. And this is coming out like November if we're lucky. I'm already thinking that, because you know what? I'm trying to prepare myself for the crushing disappointment that I won't be playing this in 60 days. But maybe we will be. Maybe we will be.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, they do have a bit of an incentive here, because do you think they do have an incentive for this? Because of the Rift S, there's a lot of people that want to buy a new headset. There's a lot of people that are itching to buy a new headset. I'm itching to buy a new headset. Gary's itching to buy a headset. Shit, you were itching so much you just bought 2 new headsets and got them in your house. There's a lot of people that, their trigger finger is starting to get itchy. They want to pull the trigger. And I think if Valve were to have a huge info dump in May of 2019 that kind of blows this headset out, we get to know everything about it. Maybe we see a few clips of some of the Valve games that are in development. And then they say November 2019, it's available. You can pre-order it now. That people would immediately start buying Rift S's and HP Reverbs. Like, some people just wouldn't be able to hang that long, because as much as they might want this, they can't resist it. The Reverb is out there. Reverb is coming in April. Rift S is going to be out any day now. Any day now, Rift S is going to be out. This was strategic. This was timed in a very deliberate fashion. They got this out here at the perfect time. Rift S isn't available. Nobody's credit cards have been charged. They got this out there. This is a major problem, man, for Oculus in some ways, because they might have just lost about 30% of their potential Rift S sales with this image. This
Hmm.
image just cost them 30% of their Rift SLs.
You know how you said it was weird that they announced this Friday night? So that makes me wonder if maybe they have some insider information. They know that the Rift S is about to come out like very soon, so they're like, we got to get this out now.
That
Yeah.
is very, very possible. And you would think, but on the flip side of that coin, wouldn't you think Facebook would have their own little mole that's in there, Because I
Yeah.
mean, they're a billion, I mean, multi-billion dollar company. Facebook don't play around. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they got freaking little microphones and shit in Valve's offices. I mean, you don't know what these companies are capable of. They don't, sometimes companies don't even take chances. Like, they want to know everything. And
Yeah.
and these industries are so huge to them that they go beyond the call of duty to try to know what's going to happen before it's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, the timing, this is not by accident. This came out at a good time. It caught all the Rift S people by surprise. HP Reverb as well. Talk about casualties of war. Vive Cosmos, casualties of war, man. God,
Yeah.
and then Zing Zing 418, rest in peace, Pimax. Like, what about Pimax? God, I didn't even think about Pimax. Think of Pimax, dude. Oh
They still
man.
they still have a wider field of view, I would imagine.
Yeah, but see, the thing about the wider field of view though is like Gary recently tried, Gary tried a Pimax and
Yeah.
Steve tried a Pimax, and like a lot of people that have tried Pimaxes have said that you only really notice the field of view when you go back. Like well, you can tell me, you've, if you
Hmm.
want to do a little bit of spoiler Pimax
Oh.
talk, when you put the Pimax on your head for the very first time, did you look around and were you like, oh my God, this is incredible. Look at this huge field of view? Or did it not seem that unbelievable to you in terms of like that big FOV?
When I first put it on, I was not wowed. It's weird. You're just like you put it on and you're like, oh well, this is just like how everything is now, and you just get so used to it. But yeah, when I did put my Vive back on, it was like, whoa, that's a big difference. Um, so yeah, but I mean, I definitely could tell. Yeah, this is definitely a wider field of view. And then like even the small field of view for a Pimax is wider than Rift and Vive. So, but like there's small and there's normal and then there's wide, and really normal and wide are almost the same thing. There's very little difference between the two. Um,
But I mean, just going back to this discussion though, dude,
yeah,
Pimax, they had a very small window. They had a
yeah,
very small window, and that window just freaking got slammed shut. I hate to tell you though, that
but
window got.
we don't know specs. I
Yeah,
mean,
but this is going to be this is going to take all the Pimax money. This is taking all the reverb money. The
mhm,
the chances that this headset isn't going to have a lot of seriously key features that we're all salivating over is, I
mhm,
think, very unlikely. Valve, like, and it goes back to my idea that when you bring out a product like this, you've got one shot, because this is Valve's product for basically all of 2019, all of 2020, all of 2021, all of 2022. Their next product that would replace this is probably going to be damn near 2023 or 2022. So they're going to be stuck with whatever this thing is. They're going to be stuck with it for 3 years, maybe almost 4 years, at least probably 3 years. And so every little decision they make about whether it has eye tracking or whether it doesn't have eye tracking, whether it has foveated rendering or it doesn't have foveated rendering, whether it's RGB stripe or not, whether, all these different little, whether it has AR pass through, like actual AR capabilities, whether it has like a good pass through, all the different things, wireless as a possible add-on, different things that it could possibly have, right? Whatever decisions they make, once these things start going through the factory and they're making 10,000 of them, it's locked, man. It's locked in. They're stuck like Chuck. And so what I'm trying to explain here is I don't think they would half-ass too many areas of this, because this is their one chance to really nail it, and then their next chance is going to be like 2022. So I think in terms of like the lenses, I think everything that they possibly know about VR is going to be thrown into this thing. And what they could fit in. Now, they have to make trade offs, just like Jason Rubin today. He was talking about trade offs. Valve has to make trade offs. You know, they can't price this thing at $2,999. They're not going to sell enough of them. So they had to make some trade offs. But what do you think about in terms of, like, you think they could still come up short where people would still want, say, you think somebody could still want a Pimax?
If they want wide field of view, yeah. If that's the thing they want, it's not that important to me, but I've seen lots of people on forums, like on Reddit, where that's what they really want. So yeah.
Okay, what if this is 135 degrees?
Then those field of view people will still want the Pimax.
But Pimax, like the company itself, like everybody we know that has had them, and they like malfunction, and like
that's been the cord. Most of those cases were the cord.
I think you're underestimating the fact that Pimax is a relatively... Look, I know there's some still super hardcore people that might still go with the Pimax, but what I'm saying is the vast majority of PC VR gamers that have had Vives and had Rifts for the last couple of years, and they're itching to buy a new headset, I think now that this Valve thing... Like, once this Valve thing hits, I think a Pimax just freaking flies out the door. I think it's gone. I mean, there's a couple of people that might still go that route because they just want to say, oh, yeah, I got a bigger field of view. But for the most part, I think Pimax is... I talk about casualties of war. Yeah, I think that's our first casualty.
I wasn't saying that the majority of people are going to go Pimax. I was saying that the people that specifically want the high field of view will. That's a small amount of people.
But I think it's so small that Pimax is kind of like I think their window just evaporated is what I mean. I just don't think there's enough of those people.
They can barely produce enough Pimaxes to even fulfill their orders. So
for now.
Yeah.
For now.
I don't know.
So Pimax might be a casualty of war. What about Vive Cosmos? Okay, well, actually, let me ask you this question, and let me know when you got to bounce. Like, if you got to bounce right now, I mean, I know it's real late for you there. So we can wrap this up real soon. But what I'll say about this, okay, let's just do on the resolution front. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that the resolution goes to 1440 by 1600, which I think that's what, like, Samsung, and that's what the Vive Pro is, right? I think is it 1440 by 1600 each eye or something like that?
Yeah, the Pro is 1600. I don't know I'd have to look it up.
I think it's 1440 by 1600 or something like that, or 1600 by 1400. Okay, 1600 by 1400 basically. Vive Cosmos $3,000. But if they went up to the Vive Pro and to the Odyssey resolution, do you think there will be enough people that'll be like, you know what, they didn't go far enough, I'm getting HP reverb? And if the Cosmos is 2160 by 2160, some people might say, F it, I'm going Cosmos. Do you think enough people might splinter off if they don't go that high up to that 2160 by 2160?
Yeah, it all depends on the other specs, and the price. And we don't know any of that, unfortunately, for like any of those for the Cosmos. Well, we know reverb, but we don't really even know the Cosmos resolution or anything else for sure.
Now, and one other thing I could possibly throw out there we're about to sign off, but one last thing I'll mention too is I remember back when they did that interview. Do you remember when Gaben was at that table and they had like 3 or 4 VR guys, right? They were all sitting at the table. Gaben was there. He was drinking his water bottle. He had to leave and go get a water bottle and came back, and they were talking about VR. This was a long time ago. And I recorded little snippets of that conversation. And one of the quotes that Gaben had way back then, he was talking about the year 2018, and he was talking about how there's going to be wireless. He also mentioned like 200 hertz and stuff like that. He mentioned like these much higher refresh rates. It was one of the things that he talked about. And so my question to you is, do you think there might be some crazy shit that comes out of left field where this isn't a 90 hertz headset? This is at a 120 hertz headset or something. Do you think something weird might come out of there like that?
I'd be surprised because, I'd be surprised until there's, eye track foveated rendering. I'd be surprised by that high of a refresh rate because I don't think GPUs can handle it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. When are the GPUs going to handle it? But it is something that Gabe said. It came out
Yeah.
of his actual mouth. Like, I'm not making that up. He talked about like really, really high refresh rates. Because the thing is, one of the game changers, like, we don't talk about this very much. We always talk about wide FOV. We talk about crazy high resolutions. We talk about eye tracking and foveated rendering. One thing we don't talk about is refresh rates and the idea that if you went up to like a crazy 200 hertz refresh rate, or so, I know it sounds absolutely crazy. I understand that. But if you were to do that, there would be like no eye strain whatsoever. Like, you'd be able to play all day long. A main fan, I know you don't have eye strain, but for those of
Yeah.
us that sometimes do, there would be none of that. It would feel so much better. And then also, and Gaming in Still Life says 240 hertz is needed, but also like all these other people that like, I get motion sick. Like, if you went up to crazy 240 hertz or some crazy shit like that, it could eliminate motion sickness for like 30% of the people that are affected by motion sickness. Not all of them, a lot of them would still have it, but some percentage of them, you get up to a high enough refresh rate and there's no motion sickness. There's no eye strain.
I don't believe that for a second.
Really?
That higher hertz would stop motion sickness for anyone. I don't believe that. No,
Okay.
because motion sickness is caused by seeing movement that your body's not feeling, like, and that's gonna happen no matter what. Um,
True, that's true. So it's mostly just eye strain, eye fatigue. It's mostly related to your eyes then, and not. But I don't know. I thought I heard something
I have
about.
no concept of eye fatigue. I don't know what that is. I can't relate in any way.
Okay.
So yeah, and I don't ever get motion sickness, so maybe that's why. I don't know.
Alrighty. Well, dude, I know it's hella late for you there, so you probably need to bounce out of here. So.
Oh, let me. But.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I have this Pimax here. When I get out of this Pimax, I do feel weird. Like, and my eyes do feel strange. I don't know if that's what fatigue is, but yeah, that's a little spoiler there.
Okay. Is it the distortion that's on the side? Maybe you're like barely seeing that and it's kind of screwing with you?
Oh, I definitely see the distortion. There's no question that I see the distortion. Every time I move my head, I see the distortion. But then Steve told me, he also said it could also be like the binocular overlap, because when you have this wide field of view headset, you have this binocular overlap that's, pretty obvious. That with my Vive, I don't see that. That could be part of it. So anyway, yeah, maybe I do get eye strain now. I don't know.
Okay, well, anyways, guys, that's basically going to do it here. Let me go ahead and get my little outro thing. Yeah, I wanted to jump on. I thought this would be fun. And we're going to be talking about this for a while. Everybody's going to be talking about this. We're probably going to be absolutely sick of the speculation in about 3 or 4 days, because that's what's going to happen a lot. And then any little word we get from anybody is going to be hyper analyzed, and we're going to try to be figuring out all these little secrets. So this is crazy. This is exciting. I'll tell you what, I can remember, and you probably remember too, main fan, it wasn't very long ago that I was saying, wouldn't it be awesome if we got some new excitement that hit our industry here? And god damn it, these last 2 weeks have been a freaking cornucopia, right?
Yeah, they have been. It's been too much, actually.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, you got Rift S, you've got freaking No Man's Sky, everything that's going on with like PSVR and all of that. And then now, bam, the Valve bomb. The bomb got dropped, guys. The bomb got dropped. And this is just going to, the ripple effects that are going to happen from this are going to just be crazy. So I'm going to have a night to sleep on this. And what I'll try to do is I'm going to try to think of some more talking points tomorrow for our episode tomorrow. So I will be back at noon Pacific time tomorrow. We're definitely going to be talking about this. Obviously, any other stories that break between now and then, and any other conjecture about this as well. And man, it's just going to be a whole lot of craziness. So this is just crazy, crazy, crazy. And is this month expensive? Save your pennies now, ladies and gentlemen. Save your pennies. We all got to start saving up because this is going to be an expensive next couple of months. All right, main fan, thanks so much for joining me on today's episode. Super appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and mute you. Thank you so much.
All right.
We'll talk to you later. Take it easy.
Talk to you later.
Okay. And yeah, and so I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. And I will be back again, like I said, tomorrow, Saturday at about noon Pacific time. And we'll get back into all this stuff again. So I'll see everybody then. Have a wonderful day. Make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. This is what we do. This is what it's all about. We have a lot of fun, and we're going to continue to do that on a regular basis. And that's what VR 365 is all about. And so anyway, I gotta go ahead and bounce out of here and see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Later.